Hello, it's Phil Newton, England, but you can call me Phil. We're back with another Crystal Maze video. What we're looking at today? Well, it's the crossover zones that appeared in the reboot series of the Crystal Maze with Richard Ayoade and Adam Conover. Now, there's a lot of rumours when we first heard that the show was coming back in 2017. Stuff like, what are the new zones going to be? Are they going to be the original 4? Are we going to have Ocean Zone back? Are we going to have all new zones? Or will it be a mixture of old and new? Nobody really knew until all the teaser trailers came out. But the other thing was, and this was a sort of bugbear of a lot of the viewers and fans, was the crossover zones, or the vignettes, which is basically the rooms that the contestants travel through to get from one zone to the other. Now, I remember, as I said, when it first was rumoured that the show was coming back, there was people saying, is the Aztec River going to come back? Somebody even started rumour that there was going to be a death slide in the Aztec zone, that they all stood at the top of the building and slid their way down onto the sands below. None of them did come back, but we're going to look at today the transitions and the show opening areas that did finally appear. So, as you can see, this is a production note that we've acquired from behind the scenes. So yes, you're going to have a look at this for the very first time. We're going to go through all the zones, all 4 of the original zones, that is, and have a look at the opening areas and the transitions or vignettes that they had to travel through to get to the other side. So as you can see here, we've got show opening, the transition, option 1, and transition, option 2. So we're going to start off with the Aztec. A lot of people's favourite zone is that one. So no better place to start. Aztec, the show opening, when the contestants first enter the zone, through the Aztec zone, they'll be going through this area called Boulder Clamber. Now, the contestants must work as a team to remove the boulders, blocking the entrance to the Aztec tomb that leads to the Aztec zone. And you can see there a part building of it before it's all sprayed and coloured and dress setted. So there you go. Transition 1 for Aztec was the waterfall, yes, also known as Simpson's Folly. Check one of my other videos to find out why it was called that. That's the Christmas Santa's Grotto zone. Have a look at that one. I'll give you a few more details on that one. So anyway, yeah, waterfall. It contained water feature that Richard and the contestants can use to move between zones. It did appear, sometimes they did go through the actual waterfall, but the majority of it, they just sort of ran down the side of it. And then the second transition for Aztec, option 2, was the climbing wall. As appeared in the original show, it was obviously, as it says here, an original feature that stayed the same from the 90s version. Up next, then, medieval. The entrance to medieval was night out, night in. Yes, our resident knights, perhaps helmet and head in hand, poses a riddle which must be answered correctly before lifting the portcullis. Some was puzzles, some were just lifting of the portcullis, varied from episode to episode. The medieval transition option 1 was the pointy pike balance beam bog. Again, that was original feature from the 90s, and they reused it for the new series. Nothing wrong in that. And the second transition from and to medieval was the monkey bridge rope swing. Now, this was original feature reimagined. Yes, that never really came about. There was kind of a swinging across, but it wasn't fully as seen here. So there you go, a little bit of a secret there. There is some that were never used, and we're going to have a look at them next. So we flip it over, and we have a look at the show opening for Industrial. And I'm sure we all know this one. This is called Barrels, Ladders, and Barbed Wire. Again, it's an original feature which has been reimagined. Contestants would have to work together to send one team member over the obstacle to retrieve a pair of bolt cutters to cut the chain, opening the gates and letting the team and Richard through. There were other attributes to this. They had to put fuses and things onto the gates to explode them. I'm not going to say words because YouTube might pick up on them, but if you know, you know. So let's have a look at the transition option. Number 1, it was a duct shaft stroke corrugated tube tunnel. And it's an original feature mashup of industrial and oceanic with a kick-out grate at the end. Not a lot seen in there. And the second transition option was the stairs to the egg crate gantry. Again, that is an original feature that featured in the 90s version. Up the stairs or up the ladders, across the gangplank and down the back of the set to the next zone. And finally, futuristic. The opening for that is called Computer Conundrum. Again, it is an original feature. The contestants had to answer a question posed by the futuristic computer. We later went on to called Barbara with Ed Tudorpole's era. Later on in the new series, there was the ocarina as well, where they had to play a tune on the ocarinas, which gained entry to the spaceship. Let's have a look. Transition option 1 was indeed the transporter room, and as you can see there, it is a new proposal. This was never appeared in the original. Richard beams the contestants to the centre of the next zone by jumping in the transporter himself at the last minute, mostly making it safely to their destination together. And you can see some production notes here saying this would be the same room. Again, if you've seen the new show, you'll know exactly where that is. And the second transition option for futuristic was the LED hallway to a caged ladder. Again, this was a new proposal. Richard leads the team along a high-tech hallway and sends them scrambling down a space ladder. Now, as you can see, there's a rough idea here in imagery, and on production notes, we've crossed it out. No more. So that was never used. Entry into the futuristic was either via transporter beam in or out, or just walking into the transporter area. Also, this was for the first few series. I haven't got one yet with the Eastern Zone, but we know that that was a lily pads room, and the other one was the courtyard. So there you go, some fantastic look at the opening and transition areas. So these are normally called crossovers or vignettes. I know, as I said, it was a bit of a bugbear that the new series didn't really show a lot of detail and a lot of clips of the contestants moving from one zone to another. That was partly due to the studio being slightly smaller and time and money efforts. Now, obviously, I went on the set for 2 years, tested the games, and there were pipes and things that you could crawl through. And I think, personally, this is just my personal opinion, I think it could have been done, just tighter editing. It wouldn't have cost any more money because the sets were already there, but a little bit tighter editing, little camera angles just to fill that space. And I think they could have actually more or less done it like the 90s series. And so that's just my opinion. See what you think. Have you got any opinions? Write them in the comments below. And there you go. Zone in, zone out. Until next time, goodbye.